So get this. Last night on a Sunday, I received 8 emails like back to back with headlines and subject lines saying, very important. You there, Nathan? With 5 question marks. And I was like, okay, is this super urgent? Let me check this out. And normally I don't touch my phone on Sundays. Like it's very rare. I think I was in my email looking for something for Monday, and that's what it was. And I saw all these messages come in because I don't reply to emails on Sundays. I'm not usually texting people on Sundays, so you know how it is. So I get this like 8 emails back and forth. Whoa, what's going on? And so when I read through it, I don't want to go into too much detail about what the content is, but basically implying that, hey, have you been following this particular person, this guru, and have you seen what they're doing with AI? And this is amazing. This is crazy. It's fantastic, and all that stuff. Now, listen, the whole point of this video is to not to one acknowledge, yes, AI is amazing. It is transforming the world, the marketplace, jobs, the way things are getting done a lot faster and easier. I know that because I'm in it. Like I am swimming in it. I've always been a forward-thinking tech person. I was the first person, for example, and the first person in my family to have digital music. Okay. There was a company called Rhapsody. And this is before, by the way, this is not MP3 downloading or Napster. Actually, I was very against Napster. I didn't use it. Once I understood it, I didn't want it. I had nothing to do with it. So I was like one of the first people in my life to own and have a paid subscription to Rhapsody, which was basically today what we have with Spotify and Apple Music and so many others, Pandora. I was the first one in my whole family and friends to be paying for music on a monthly subscription, downloading the MP3s to a Zencaster. I think that's what it was called, or a Zen, something like that, an MP3 player. And people thought I was crazy. Like, why are you paying for music? You could just use Napster and get it for free. Well, the reality is you were basically pirating music, which I completely disagree with that. I don't believe in pirating movies or pirating music because I believe the artists and everybody in that process should be paid. How much people should be paid and all that is a whole different topic. So I was one of the first ones using that. For example, I was the first one who was buying Netflix. Now, do I wish I had stock in Netflix when I first started? Yes, I do. I didn't at the time. But I was the first one to get DVDs in the mail. Amongst all my family and friends, they thought I was crazy. Like, what do you mean? Why don't you just buy the DVD? I said, for what? Why would I buy something, pay $20 for, when I can rent it, watch it, and send it back? I could do that multiple times a month. I think I was on the 3 or 4 DVDs a month plan for Netflix before it was even digital. And then I was the first person in my family and friends to literally take all my paper photos, like, the Polaroids and the 3x5s, remember those? And I sent it off to a company called South Tree, and they would digitalize all my cassette tapes, my VHSs, and my paper photos. And now I have all those digitally. So I was one of the first people to do this all in my circles, and people would say, Nathan, you're crazy and you're weird. So I feel like I'm getting the same kind, well, maybe not so much, but with AI, I would say not so much this time. Now that I've been in AI, at first, maybe a few people would say, oh, Nathan, you're crazy for using it. Not so much anymore. But I will say this. I know there's a lot of people running towards AI. However, there's very little to no regulation. And now you may hear some keywords out there like OpenClaw or Maltbot, which is now OpenClaw, or AI agents, right? So you may hear a lot of these keywords, and I'm all for it. I'm like, again, the first guy there probably amongst my family and friends. However, there are some regulations I think that probably need to be put in place. I'm there, but what I've seen and what I've observed is you're basically can give a lot of your account information over to your AI agent, which is all rogue right now. Like it's the Wild West. It's like when cryptocurrency was it well, still is, but when cryptocurrency was out and people were just doing whatever they want or whatever they could with it. So this is almost the same way. Imagine an AI agent on the worst case, on the extreme side of things, an AI agent going rogue on you and taking over your accounts. So even in some developers, some videos they're posting, they're saying, "Hey, don't use your personal email account. Don't use your personal accounts. Set up new accounts." Why? Because your AI agent could probably get very rogue on you and do something, or someone could get access to your AI agent and turn this all against you. So it's all very new and fresh. And I think that's a big risk factor on a deeper level, which people are using, and there's these concerns coming up with whether it's OpenAI, whether it's Anthropic or Gemini, that you are now giving new permissions to these companies, whether it's previously or new. If it's a new company for you, like OpenAI, if it's new to you, but maybe if you're using a Google account, you're just kind of like clicking agree and yeah, sure, no problem. It's already in your world. The reality is you're giving new permissions that have never been done before. Okay. And it may seem like, oh, this is great and this is fantastic. But remember, you're giving a whole bunch of new permissions. Now, listen, I'm not against the permissions. It's play as you play as you wish, or play at your own will. But the reality is, there does need to be a call for regulation or um, concern for this data, right? So where is it being used? How is it being used? Re- like it's really important. It's just like years ago, no one cared that Meta was allowing third parties to access all this information until I think it was 10 years later, maybe 8 to 10 years later, that people were like, oh no, we did something wrong and we need to go back, and there was class action lawsuits and we need to rewind what we've done. Okay, here's the thing. At the end of the day, point blank, privacy no longer exists. I want to get that off the table. Like, let's just push that off the table. I'm using, for example, let me give you an example. I'm using AI right now to actually listen into conversations that are happening where in the next feed or search that someone is doing, I can serve an ad to that audience. And then just because they heard what was going on in AI works its magic on the back end. That's like one example. So not only is and if you don't believe this, like AI, like your phones aren't listening to you, believe me, they are. And your phones can be accessed, all your images, all your photos, all your videos can all be accessed. So the reality is, if you think there can't be access to that information, think again. Okay, so whatever you have on your devices, privacy is out the window. If you still believe that your stuff is private, it may be private to an extent of you didn't post it, but to the companies that own those applications or the devices and the hardware, guess what? They have access to it. So the goal is, my recommendation, the goal would be find companies that you can at least trust, or that really, really cares about your privacy and protection to a point where, well, obviously it may not be accessible to everyone, but the reality is it's really, really hard. So just, of course, use as your own will. Okay. So AI is just going to accelerate that, and it's going to, we have to be thinking of parameters for protection and privacy and regulation to make sure that, you know, uh, so that things are not done for malicious will. So, for example, this goes deeper. I'll just take the finance side of things. For example, if you have accounts, imagine an AI agent, impersonating themselves to be you, and then getting access to your accounts, getting access to the financial situation, your financial documents, your financial statements, anything that's going on with finance in your life. That's really imperative. That's like, oh no. Another thing to think about is AI cloning your voice. AI cloning your voice right now would be, mimicking who you are. As I got this email and I'm hearing the excitement of of my client's voice and tonality, and them being all excited about what AI is doing in the future. Listen, there's going to be a bunch of that going on. There's going to be a bunch of exciting things happening, and transformation and the way things are done. And this is all great. This is, really exciting times. But just be mindful as you're building a business, right? Just be mindful as you're building a business. There's so many tools out there, and they're just going to be now multiplied even more, that you have to always be identifying, um, is this something that's going to elevate the work you're already doing, right? Is the tool going to already multiply the thing that's already being done in your life? If you think the tool is going to get you started, it's probably not going to happen. Okay. If you think the tool is going to make you more sales from zero sales, it's probably not going to happen. I want to make that very clear. Most people think that when you get something, it's going to increase your income. Like, oh, if I just buy this one thing, let me give an example. If I just go to this one live event, if I just go to this seminar, if I just go to this, if I buy this course, if I buy this software, it's going to make me more money. Not really. What happens most of the time, and I've been a victim of this in the past too. Like that's actually one of the reasons why I stopped going to live seminars. Okay. Like, unless I'm getting paid to speak at them. So if you see me at any live event and you see me there, it's probably because I've been paid to be there. But I stopped paying for live events because it was getting to the point where I was only attending thinking that like an amazing thing was going to happen, or I'd go there, learn something new, like one new thing, and boom, my life would change. That's not true. You may get tidbits of knowledge and new aha moments, but that doesn't mean it converts to money. What would really convert to money is maybe a partnership at a live event, and then you're saying, hey, let's do this together and let's build this. Let's do this together. Our partnership, let's close a deal together, right? Those are things to consider. But if you're, just trying to think like, if I go to this event, it's going to change my life, I probably could give you like two events that would really do that for you. And I'll name them for you right now. Number one is Tony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within event. And number two is Date with Destiny. Okay. By the same guy, Tony Robbins. I would literally say those two events would dramatically transform your life, to change the trajectory, to say, okay, now you're going to make more money. I can almost guarantee you're going to make money by going to those two events, because your mindset shifts. Your mindset shifts. And if you don't have a mindset shift, let me tell you, you'll just be going around in circles on the same hamster wheel over and over again, with the same beliefs and the same story from your past, and then that's got to change. If that doesn't change, nothing will. Okay, so I know I've covered quite a few things here, but my point is, going back to this email, is that I know there's a lot of excitement in AI, and there's a lot of things happening. That's actually the reason why I created this group, the group of monetize your message over 40, for those over 40. So if you're over 40, click on the link in the description, join our free group, because it's about helping you monetize your message, whether you're a pastor, whether you're a teacher, professor, whether you are a coach, whether anytime you're trying to monetize a message. You could be a trainer, an author, a speaker. And if that's you and you're trying to get a message out there and monetize it, you're trying to build a business out of it, then that's why I created this group. Because let me tell you, I've been working with entrepreneurs for so many years that sometimes they struggle with clarity and what to do first, and what tools can I use, and what things can I really use to get this business off the ground. That's why I created this group, so that you can, one, create clarity, two, build confidence in using the tools and make some money and close some deals, and then go to cash flow, where you create maybe AI agents into your business and automate your life and your business. Sometimes it's just like a little question that needs to be, it's a little bottleneck, it's a little challenge and a hurdle. But if you have big challenges too, that's okay. Bring them into the group, and we will solve those problems on a daily and weekly basis. You have to have small wins every day. If you find yourself in this hamster wheel of going around and around, and I mention this throughout my trainings, if you feel like yourself in a circle and you're going around and around and you're not getting progress, you're not getting wins, you're not making sales, you're not making an income, then you need to be in a group like this. We're not going to just teach you fluff. That's not what we do. It's all more about action. If you're constantly buying courses and not getting through them, right? If you're only going through 10% of it or 15% of that course, there's a deeper problem that's going on. Okay. If you feel like you go to a live event and you really only got, you were supposed to do all this change, your business was supposed to change and nothing happened 6 months later, that's because there's a deeper problem. So the group is to help you solve those problems, get you small wins on a regular basis and through actionable steps, right? Actionable steps. You have to have these small wins. If you don't have these small wins, you're not going to really get ahead. You're just going to find yourself in a circle over and over again. So I share this with you because, again, this recently came in from a client. I know there's a lot of excitement and there's a lot going on with AI. There's going to be so much more. There's going to be so many more tools and there's going to be so many ways to do it. And it may just feel so overwhelming. And it also make you scared at the same time. You might be nervous. You might feel like you're going to not only get left out, maybe you feel like you're going to lose your job. But guess what? Those are the same feelings that people had when the internet first came out. Those were the same. There were naysayers. There were people doubting. There was people scared. These are the same things. Those fears were back then. But I would want you to lock arms with me, just like I did years ago. I was the first person in my family to have so many of those things. I was the pioneer in my own little family and friends of doing these things. And do I wish my family and friends kind of came with me? Yeah, maybe. Maybe it could have been for them, maybe not. But the reality is, maybe they started seeing it later on. But, my success, I crafted my own success. I blazed the trail for my own self and my own family's life. And you could do the same if you wanted to. My goal for you in this is, if you're interested, my goal for you would be you get in the group and you create your own future success. You create your own lifestyle income. This way you'll be able to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, from wherever you want, right? This is it. These are the tools. Make money from a laptop lifestyle and be able to go wherever you want and travel to as many countries as you want. If that's you and that's something you want to do, get in the group and I'll see you there.